Welcome back to another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Tony Rizzo, ESPN Cleveland host, is tired of the nonsense and the slander surrounding around Shedeur Sanders, and he goes haywire on his co-host over the Shedeur Sanders hate. And we're going to unpack all that here next, here on the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Well, guys, man, I'm here to tell you, man, the hate surrounded around Shedeur Sanders these days, man, is totally asinine, man. And Tony Rizzo of ESPN in Cleveland, he's had enough. Now, we saw the Cleveland Browns in their home opener drop it against the Cincinnati Bengals 17-16, where the Cleveland Browns actually had a chance to win that game, man. The defense played lights out. Joe Flacco, he slanged that ball around the field, 31 of 45 for 290 yards. A touchdown and 2 picks. And a lot of people are saying Joe Flacco wasn't the cost of them losing the game. They was talking about the Tillman drop and the Jerry Jeudy drop that led to interceptions. But they also are pointing the finger at their kicker, Andre Schmeidt. And there was a episode that was caught on tape, on film in that game, when the kicker missed the go-ahead field goal, and Shedeur Sanders walked up to the kicker and had a conversation with him. We don't know what the conversation entailed. We don't know what Shedeur Sanders said, but a lot of people in Cleveland was saying that was big of Shedeur Sanders to go over there and console, his teammate. And, when you do stuff like that, man, you gain trust in your teammate. You gain trust in all the veterans, and Shedeur Sanders did a big thing. But a lot of people in Cleveland, some of the fans and some of the naysayers and some people that just want Shedeur Sanders to completely fail made a big deal about it, talking about he was doing it for clout. He didn't have to do that. He was just doing it for the camera. Also, people are complaining about Shedeur Sanders on the sideline with his hat backwards and sunglasses on. Now, Shedeur Sanders was listed as the emergency quarterback. He wasn't getting in the game unless there was something catastrophic that happened that let him get in the game. And Tony Rizzo's ESPN co-host said some things, and Tony Rizzo went completely berserk on his co-host because he said he wanted to give Shedeur Sanders some advice, and Tony Rizzo lost it. Now, we've seen other quarterbacks around the NFL, even in all sports, on the sideline when they're not in the game with their hat backwards and sunglasses on. Even in baseball, hat backwards, sunglasses on, spitting sunflower seeds and things like that. But this is what Tony Rizzo is trying to tell people. When it comes to Shedeur Sanders, it's different. It's almost like a smear campaign to put another strike on Shedeur Sanders to prevent him from getting the opportunity that he deserves. And Tony Rizzo is trying to find out why this is happening. But we've partnered up with Underdog Fantasy here around football time. Make sure you're following Simply Ball Dropping as I give you guys my players on the over and under, and if they're going to get a certain amount of touchdowns or a certain amount of yards, so you can win some extra cash. And this is going to be a word from our sponsor. Underdog Fantasy is the best way to play fantasy sports. Let me tell you about the easiest way to get in on some WNBA and NBA action. Find your player, pick higher or lower, win you some extra cash. Pick between 2 to 5 players to fill out your pick'em entry, get every pick right, and win some serious cash. Use my promo code SBD23 and receive up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Now that it's football time, follow Simply Ball Dropping as I share my picks. Like I said, pick your player, choose your amount, win money. Make picks, win cash. Thank you, Underdog Fantasy, for the partnership with us. And thank you for using promo code SBD23 on Underdog Fantasy. Now, guys, with that being said, man, let's listen to Tony Rizzo as he goes crazy on his co-host. Let's take a listen.
Let him go against the ones the whole time in training camp. There has to be a reason for this. And the only thing I can come up with is that he's not putting the work in off the field. I asked Aaron. I said to Aaron today, I go, man, I said, I'm a little bummed, a little bored. There's no Shadour buzz going on. He's a third-string quarterback. And Aaron goes, oh, there's Shadour buzz. And I'm like, what? He didn't do anything. He didn't get in the game.
The Browns fan base, as always on this issue, is divided. There are half the people who thought that him going over to Schmitty Kicker and telling him it'll be okay.
Oh, Mike.
Because on TV, the one shot of Andre Schmidt on the sideline after the missed field goal.
Oh, and you think Shadour just happened to know what?
No. I'm not. I'm not telling you what I think. I will tell you what I think.
You think he pre-planned that to get his face on camera?
That's what some Browns fans think. And others think that he was being a great teammate, and that shows you why ultimately he'll be the leader and franchise quarterback of the Browns.
I want everyone to consider the source here. I'm not in the building. I don't know what the deal is. I'm a fan. I'm just looking at this from the outside looking in, and there's got to be something to it. There got to be.
There was one
consoling a teammate. That's not good, right?
I give Shadour a little bit of advice.
No. I don't want you giving Shadour advice.
Riz on the sideline.
Yeah, listen to this, Chris. Now this pissed me off. Now this did
with the backwards hat and the sunglasses and the look of it. I would just remind Shadour, lock in on the game.
Wow.
Watch the game.
What?
Who said he wasn't?
Didn't Flacco have a hat on backwards? Doesn't Jalen Hurts do that all the time? He's done it. You're knocking a kid for wearing his hat backwards?
I didn't say that.
Man,
I said, Riz, hold on.
Chris,
I said, watching him.
Let him go somewhere else. Let him go play for somebody. Let him go win a Super Bowl for somebody else. Honestly.
Well, if you're going to speculate about him not working super hard.
No, I'm not speculating. I'm saying something's going on.
There was a difference between him and Gabriel, the way they were watching.
Wow. Did you hear what they had to say, man? This co-host, I can't believe he came out of his mouth and said, let me give Shedeur Sanders a word of advice. Be locked in. And Rizzo said, this pissed me off when he talked about the hat. Now, see, guys, y'all got to understand, like I've said in these previous videos, man, it's a lot of smoke and mirrors, man. You guys got to pay attention to what's going on because Rizzo said it. There's no Shadour buzz. And the guy was like, oh, yes, it is. And this is what they come up with because Shedeur Sanders being a great teammate, consoling the kicker that just missed the game, potentially go-ahead field goal, and also on the sideline with his hat backwards and sunglasses on. And Rizzo pointed out all the other stars in the NFL that have their hat on backwards. He even said Joe Flacco had his hat on backwards. See, this is the things that you guys are missing. And for the co-host to even bring that up about him going over to the kicker, and like Rizzo said, you think Shadour's doing that for clout? You think he's doing that to get attention? Come on, man. It's bigger than that, y'all. And Rizzo know it's bigger than that. Something is not right. Anything to tear down Shedeur Sanders, to put another check mark on him so he won't get his opportunity. This is what's going on. The collusion is out there for you guys to see because this should have been a feel-good story for the kicker and what Shedeur Sanders did. This shouldn't have nothing to do with Shedeur Sanders on the sideline with his hat backwards and the sunglasses on. Knowing that you're the emergency quarterback and the co-host is trying to say Shadour wasn't locked in. He said the difference between the way Shadour was watching the game and the way Gabriel was watching the game. Well, there's no footage of what we saw of what Gabriel was doing because all the footage was locked in on Shedeur Sanders. That's the difference. Show me some footage of Dylan Gabriel watching the game and let us critique that and let's look at his body language and see if he was locked in. See, these are narratives that they try to create. So you guys got to watch it. It's a lot of smoke and mirrors. I see everybody in the comments section, #salute. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. Turn your post notifications on so you know every time Simply Ball drops another hot banger. Oh, yeah, just in case I forgot. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. And I want to appreciate all my new subscribers that have been tuning in and rocking out with me. I totally appreciate you. We just now went over 21,000 subscribers. We are building, we are growing, and we are flowing. So salute to everybody that rocks with your boy. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap, and we're going to catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
That's all, folks.